Hey, this is your girl, CT Connects. Welcome back to episode 2 of What's Love Got to Do with It with my sis, Latanya Maori, and myself, CT. Make sure that you stay tuned for this episode as we pick up from where we left off last time. It is indeed a choice.
Hi, Miracles, and thank you for tuning in to the Miracles Podcast with me, your host, Latanya Maori. This podcast is here to uplift and inspire you on your journey called life. This week's episode is all about love, and I'm sharing this week's episode with a special guest, Miss Cindy Taylor, who is a creator of arts within herself, who just embarked on an acting debut in the new hit movie entitled 17 Days. So stay tuned. You don't want to miss this one.
It is a choice. The person who is abusing you, the person who is manipulating you, the person who is playing you for Boo Boo the Fool, it is your choice how much you will allow, because people will only do to you what you allow. And guess what? They may not like it. That's where domestic violence comes in, because they're trying to control what you allow. But where there's a will, there's a way. And yes, you have some people a lot of times with mental, health issues that are mainly the people who are, being these abusers. But I just feel like with enough voice, if all of us, Tanya, can stand together, then people like you, people like myself, we can help somebody else, some other young lady or young man get the strength to say, hey, I'm not alone. This is nothing that I should be embarrassed about. Here's what I need to do. This is a group of people I can kind of reach out to, because unfortunately, sometimes if you've never been through certain things, it's hard to help somebody else get through it. So, I think that a lot of times we stay in relationships that aren't good for us because of identity. The young lady, she said that she just didn't want to be alone. She said, I don't want to be alone.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I take it,
You are right. They reminded me when you said it's a choice. When I did decide to leave, it was definitely a choice. I really had to just say, okay, this is my plan and this is what I'm going to do. And I did it, and I never looked back. And it also reminds me of I don't know if you saw the Tina Turner movie when they got in the fight in the car. She made a choice that day in that car.
Yes, she did.
She ran. I think she had like one shoe on, but she never looked back. That was her decision, and she ran with it. And, she's doing well from what we can see. So, like you said, it is a choice. So we just have to make that choice and use wisdom, because there is a future for you. There's a future for anyone that's in these situations. It's not the end. You're not stuck. So thank you for sharing.
Tanya, you said to me, what are some of the resources? Now, we know the National Domestic Violence Hotline number. That's like 800-799-SAFE. S is in Sam, A is in Apple, F is in Frank, E is in Egg, which is 7233. So that's 1-800-799-SAFE, 7233. That is the National Domestic Violence Hotline. Also, if someone maybe not have access to the phone, sometimes people try to hide phones and, things like that. And maybe they have some sort of Wi-Fi access. So that's when they can go to thehotline.org. And, as you were so, thank you for sharing your personal story, because I understand how tough it can be to even revisit those memories. So thank you for sharing that. And I too can, I understand, firsthand, first off, and without getting into too much detail about that choice. When I spoke to the hospital, that's another resource that I didn't even think about. But the hospital, I ended up just going to the hospital. And the lady, the nurse, actually, I don't even know if she even realized what she was saying. And to any person that's listening to your platform, who maybe even in the medical profession or whatever your job is, please don't negate how God can use you to change somebody's life with one sentence.
Yes. Yes.
With one sentence, you can be the librarian. You can be the PNC ticket collector. Like you can be the janitor at the school. You can be the person responsible for the cones downtown Raleigh. Like God will use you to change somebody's life, their thought process, that is, and they'll take that one word and redevelop their entire life. And the nurse told me, she said, I don't think you're saying you don't want to live, because out of my situation, I had a suicide attempt. And the lady said, I don't think you're saying you don't want to live. I think you're just saying you don't want to live with him. Yeah. And so that takes the conversation even to a deeper situation, because like you said, when you're in a domestic violent relationship, you do feel stuck. If you're a husband and a wife, a lot of times our incomes, we need each other. You have children to think of, you have bills, you have food. There's so many things. And I mean, unfortunately, especially with this pandemic, who has 6 months of income somewhere saved up for the most part, that they can dip out if it gets too bad. And so a lot of times you feel stuck, and that's when depression will get even worse, and then you just feel like there's no way out. And so, the lady, she said, it's not that you don't want to live. Everybody that's listening, it's not that you don't want to live if you're suffering from depression and suicidal thoughts. You just don't want to live in the circumstances that you're in today. So don't make a permanent decision off of a temporary place. Wow.
And a nurse said that. Wow.
Yes.
Can we give a shout out to all the nurses?
Girl, and that was like 2012. That was 10 years ago. And I still can almost hear her voice. I would love, don't let me get big. I'm going to find her. I may not even wait to get big. I'm going to find her and say thank you.
Yeah. That is so sweet, empowering. Oh, thank you for sharing. Wow.
Absolutely.
So, since it is Valentine's, I want to ask you, let's get on the lighter side. What is love to you now, since you've gone through so many experiences? What is love to you now?
You know what? And you being my sister, you probably already know where I'm about to go with this.
Look,
to the word.
I'm ready. That's how we were raised.
Honey, and let me tell you, like you said, now that I've lived a little life, you hear things when we're kids and we were raised a certain way, and we in church, we done learn how to catch the quickening and all of that, And at the end of the day, though, like they say, that word, when it's planted, we may stray away, but we do not stay away. And that word does not leave. And, to me, I think when you're younger, love is more visual. It's more materialistic. It's more, it's more selfish, if you will, as a child, mommy feeds me, daddy gets me clothes, we have Christmas. What am I getting? The more I get, the happier I am, Well, as adults, we get less and have to give more. So that equation kind of starts shifting, and then you add, a relationship into that equation, it can become complex. So in my opinion, love is the true definition of 1 Corinthians 13, 4-8. Then the NIV version says, love is patient. Love is kind. It does not envy. It does not boast. It's not proud. It does not dishonor others. It is not self-seeking. It's not easily angered. It keeps no records of wrongs. It does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes, always perseveres. Love never fails. And so I'm going to stop it there, because if any time that I had a really tough time, after you've gone through any bad relationship or any bad pain, even if it's a mother-daughter relationship or a father-son relationship, you have to learn how to love, and everybody's love language is different. And, the only thing that I can say that keeps me loving, despite all of the pain and the times that you want to say, I ain't loving nobody, forget all these people, love is patient. So if I found myself to be a little bit more patient and less quick tempered, or I'm not going to, my husband or my boyfriend makes me mad, instead of me coming back off and popping off at the mouth real quick, I'm going to take a few seconds and have a little bit more patience. Love is kind. Well, when I can be evil or mean, or he does something that I said, okay, put the dishes there, and you don't listen, and then you drop the whole pan down, I'm going to take that moment to be kind, like God shows us grace and mercy. Okay, I'll be kind, sweetie. I'll help you pick that up. You know what I'm saying? Next time you're going to listen to me, though. you know.
Thank you for watching the second episode of What's Love Got to Do With It with Latanya Maori and your girl CT Connects on the Miracles Podcast. We have enjoyed each other and we will do it again. Make sure to subscribe. Thanks for tuning in. See you soon.